Welcome to the Loveland Report and Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. And we're going to be talking mortgages, real estate, what's going on for 2026. Thank you for tuning in. As we've been doing this show, I've been doing this show for about 30-something years, Bruce.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for me to get a new agent because they still don't pay me for it.
Not enough.
Not enough, yeah. So we get to talk to lots of great people, though, and I meet lots of great clients when they call me to work out their real estate plan. But I want to talk today. How long should a listing contract be? One of the top three things I want to talk about. How long should a listing contract be, or a buyer's contract? 2026, what's in store for us? And becoming a millionaire, a real true millionaire. How do you do that with real estate?
We can show them how to do that in our Leapfrog program, which is a guaranteed to get rich slow.
Yeah, get rich slow. Yep.
It's a 20-year process, but if you start in your 20s or 30s, I can show you how to have $4 or $5 million worth of free and clear property, producing you 25, 30 grand a month in income for the rest of your life and your children's lives if you want to. So that is possible to do, and it's not complicated. Nothing you and I do are very complicated. We're very simple people, aren't we?
Yep.
I think I'm more simple than you.
It's very simple. I mean, what's funny is that first step. Just get one. Get your first home. That's the first
and the
step.
thing is we do what we teach. Like, you're out buying properties right now. You're buying flips, you're buying holds, I
bought 3 last year. I want to buy six more this year.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, but I'm not risking everything. And
No.
I'm not all in on real estate. I got half my money in the market. And I got half my money in real estate.
Very good. And you know what? That's the way to do it.
Yep. So what's going on? I want to ask you, what's going on for 2026 right now? What are rates doing? The bond market's been okay.
Interest rates are improving. The bonds have done well. They're not having huge gains, but they're having gains nonetheless.
They're hovering in a better range.
They're hovering in a much better range. We are hitting up against the ceiling of resistance in the bond market. And just for those of you that understand stock terminology and how charts work, when you have the highest that a price has been, it's hard to pierce above that level.
Mm-hmm.
So there are ceilings and there's floors when it comes to watching these charts.
Kind of like a bunch of kids on the baseball field going, I'm not going to do it. You do it.
Yeah. Well, so we've got to pierce above that, but we are getting there. Now, here's what I have seen. I have seen a tremendous, and I mean a tremendous, influx of new buyers.
Good.
This just since the first of the year. I don't know whether it was the Maduro thing. I don't know if it had anything to do with what's going on politically, but I can tell you this much. The average consumer is starting to feel better about moving up.
Yeah.
And all the data that I'm reading is that people that are stuck in what we call those golden handcuffs, we look back and we've now analyzed the data, and it wasn't as bad as we thought it was, meaning that there were more people that actually bought with low interest rates and still gave up those low interest rates to get the home that they wanted. And it wasn't that far off the pace. It was off, but it wasn't that far off. So I think the low rates actually hurt people more than they help people, because if you don't have real estate moving and people moving, then nobody's making money. Keep in mind, all of you listening to this show, when Cleve and I's business is doing exceptionally well, everyone makes money. The plumber makes money. The car salesman makes money. Everyone, because money's being made.
The average house move, they say over the first 12 months when somebody buys a home, the average spent nationwide, Home Depot, trips to the, window blinds, furniture, all the average spend over is like 60 grand. So what's that do for the economy? And that's a slow section. Actually, I've seen some December numbers, Bruce, and it was slow in December. And I bet you we did not beat 2024. But I think this year, what we're looking at is 2026 being better than 2025. So we'll have those numbers in a couple of weeks. I'll have the end of 2025. I'll have those numbers for you next week. And so, but I think where are we hovering on rates? We're still hovering around six. Government loans might be in the 5s.
Yep. You've got your conventional loans. You're going to generally see somewhere around 6 and a quarter. Depending on credit score, depending on how much you put down, depending on whether it's a single family or a condo. Then you've got your FHA and VAs are definitely below 6. And even if you didn't have great credit, like I've got an FHA client right now that's got like a 610. Okay. Not a great score.
Yeah.
Now it's not in the 5s, but it's in the low 6s. You would never get a conventional loan with that score. It would not happen. It'd be hard to even get a VA loan with that score. You could do it, but it's not easy. FHA makes it comfortable for you. And the rates are still attractive because FHA does not put the risk-based pricing models on their scores like Fannie Mae does on conventional loans. You know, every 10 points that your credit score goes up makes your interest rate or your loan costs go down. So if you don't think your credit is important, it's not only important about the interest rate you get on a mortgage, it's important about the interest rate you get on the car loan. It's important about what you're paying for homeowners insurance, auto insurance. All kinds of things impact that credit score. So we want to help our clients get the best they possibly can. And sometimes just bumping up that score makes a big difference. You know what? We got to give out our phone numbers to all our folks.
407-352-8118 for Loveland Properties. It's funny, Bruce, through the holidays, I worked. I got a couple days around New Year's. It was the phones actually slowed a little bit, but it was busy, and we're helping a lot of people get listed. Got a bang up January. You know, my January is almost done. All the contracts are written.
Sure.
And it already I got more volume than I did last year.
I'm filling up by February already.
Yeah.
Right
So
now.
February's, what we're looking at, and this is 2026. I think people, if you want to make a real estate plan, give me a call at that number or go to cleveloveland.com.
Yep. If you are looking to either buy or refinance, maybe you're thinking about buying and you're self-employed, I've got great self-employed programs. Maybe you're thinking about, maybe you're aging up, but you don't want to get rid of your house. Maybe a reverse mortgage might be right for you. Any number of things. Cross Country Mortgage has more loan programs than any lender that I've ever seen on the entire planet. And I can say that with confidence. We've got it all, and we're a direct lender. We're not brokering. Call the loan arranger. I've been in the mortgage business for 35 plus years, and I'm right here to help you and your family. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. You know, Cleve, you were talking to me about just on a break that you were frustrated with a couple of transactions that you're a listing agent.
Yep.
And you've got buyers coming to you that are using mortgage brokers instead of a direct lender.
Yep.
Now, share with everybody, what does that really mean to you? Because a client doesn't know that. They think a mortgage broker may be the best option for them because that mortgage broker,
they tell them I can shop different people.
Yes.
Everybody's rates are about the same.
Yes.
But what they have is no control. You can call your underwriting department. You can call the person in charge of that. You know what your underwriters are going to say.
Everything's done in-house.
Everything's done in-house. This is where we're these people are sitting in their onesie watching Jerry Springer in their garage, and they put a file together. They get the application online. They ship it off to some people and say, oh, I think this will be good. Yeah. But when that guy says, nah, we really don't like this, he can't call them and go, wait a minute, I send you 20 loans a month. Why didn't you do this right? And so be careful, because if somebody says they've got a better rate than somebody else, they're probably fibbing, or they're desperate for the business.
Absolutely.
Everybody's rates are about the same.
They're pretty close to the same.
And you got to know how to put a file together. And that's what you do for people.
That's what you're frustrated him. So he had this client on one of his listings come to him, and they were using this mortgage broker. The mortgage broker just literally lied to you about the client's approval.
Yeah.
Right?
The pre-approval was wrong. He's telling us conditions now 3 weeks in that weren't on the pre-approval letter.
Right.
You know, so, and these are things that should have been found out. Like, you put a file together, Bruce.
Well, if you're going to write a pre-approval, everything that's a condition of that approval should be listed on the letter.
That too. But these are things that are being found out now. I'm like, okay, well, this is pretty simple. You're saying there's a ding on the credit report. Didn't you pull credit in the first week? All these different things that were said on the letter just weren't done. So this is horrible. And I just want to caution people. Now they've come
back and you've got another offer, and you looked and it was the same loan officer working with the client.
He was a nightmare before. And I have a blacklist of lenders that I will not let do transactions. And I usually know that. That's rare. I have very few, but be careful, people. And if you want to save yourself some time, just call Bruce. And then
call me 407-250-9144.
And realtors, you want to save yourself some time. You want to make sure your buyer can buy and they get a good loan. Have them call Bruce. And it's funny because we put like 3 people with you over the holidays, and they call me. Like, it takes them about 2-3 days. They start calling me, Bruce's team won't leave me alone. I'm like, well, that means you didn't give them all the paper they need. Well, yeah. I'm like, well, get it to them. well, I can't upload this. I'm like, drive down there, or come by my office. I'll get it to
got a
him.
client of yours right now. He told me from day one, he goes, I don't have an email and I don't use the internet.
Yep.
And I said, that is no problem.
Yep.
I got you covered. So I'm missing 2 documents, and your buyer's agent needed a full pre-approval from me the other day.
Yep.
So I said, hang on. So the guy says, how am I supposed to get it to you? Just mail it. I'm like, if you're making an offer today, the mail ain't going to work for me. So one of my employees is stopping by his home to pick up the documents.
And that's what you need. You want somebody that cares about your loan, not somebody that's just going to shop this around and hope it gets done. So, but I just think, you got to know who you're picking. And this leads me to my next subject, Bruce. How long should a listing contract be or a buyer's contract be? You got to hire your realtor now. With a buyer broker agreement.
You're talking about when you're contracting with the real estate agent.
With an agent to list your home. And normally that was a 6-month contract.
You're not talking about the real estate contract. You're talking about the agreement.
When you hire a realtor,
the buyer and their real estate agent, or the seller and their real estate agent.
When you hire a realtor to list your home, what I used to see, for my 35 years in the business, about 6 months. Well, what I'm seeing now with the slow market is I'm seeing people stuck in 1-year contracts. And I just had somebody hadn't talked to the realtor in 2 months, tried to hire me. They demanded a $1,500. Mom and dad are on the deathbed. She's got power of attorney. They demanded all these things. They wanted $1,500 to break the contract. Couldn't get a response. Got a dance. Somebody trying to say, and then the broker themselves working for them made them a ridiculously low cash offer on the house when that was their parents' equity, and they're literally senior citizens. And
the broker that listed it.
The broker that listed it said, "Well, I'll make you an offer for this." And just literally just a horrible offer too.
Isn't that a conflict of interest?
Probably at some point, but the conflict is basically make sure you have basically a 1-day listing contract. Like my contracts, I do 6 months, but they're 1 day. If you don't like me, I've never had somebody fire me for being a knucklehead, Bruce. I've had people say, "Wait a minute, I think we'll rent. Wait a minute, we're going to wait. Wait a minute, let's take it off the market." And
life changed, something happened. Yeah.
But I've never locked anybody into contract. I only get paid if I take you to a closing and you get paid on your house. And the same thing with a buyer's broker agreement. I'm seeing this now. My agents do open houses all the time.
So let's just educate our listeners, because the buyer broker agreement is that new law that came into effect a couple of years ago, that the buyers are actually responsible now for paying their buyer's broker.
You got to hire that agent. But you should also have a $0 to break that contract, like with written notice. Say, okay, you're fired. And I'm seeing people that are stuck. You had one, I think, a couple months ago. We had to wait because they had $1,000 penalty.
It was horrible.
We had to wait 2 more months for that buyer to go look at homes because this guy wouldn't even call her back.
This poor lady hired this person, and the guy did nothing for her, and she couldn't get out of the deal without paying him.
Yeah.
So she had to wait it out.
We just waited, but we found her the right house and we got her in. But so be careful on these contracts, and any realtor worth their salt. Now think about this. 70% of the realtors I don't have 2020. This is 2024 stats. 70% of the realtors didn't sell a house. In 2024,
70%
of the realtors, and we got 20,000 in Central Florida. The average is only 3 or 4 a year, Bruce. So most of them, it's a side gig. It's a side hustle. Do you make sure that's one good question there. Will eliminate 80% of the fluff out there. Just ask a realtor, is this your only job? How many families did you help last year? If they didn't help over 20, they're not full-time.
So hire a full-time agent. And it's the same with me. You don't pay me an application fee. I do not. If you don't like what I offer you, the service levels I give you, the terms of your loan, if you think that it's just not fit for you, you fire me. You just say, Bruce, I don't need your services. I don't want them anymore. Now, I don't have that happen. It's a very rare occasion that a client leaves me to go somewhere else. Very, very rare occasion. And most of the time it's pie in the sky and they think it's better, and then it doesn't end up better. But you can fire me and have no monetary outlay for me whatsoever. There's no application fee. You could fire me after I've got your loan fully approved and ready to close if you wanted to. You don't owe me a dime. And I don't want a client to ever think that they are extorted by me to using my services.
I had a good story. I switched somebody over to you last month, and they had been talking to their bank, and they were going to have a situation where they were buying a house, then selling another house in a couple months. And I said, well, you need to be able to recast that loan. And they asked their banker what that was, and the banker had no idea what they were talking about.
They didn't know what you're talking
about. They wanted to do a full
your number. We got to take
407-352-8118. Look up and down your street. One of those rooftops. I probably helped sell it or buy it or manage it.
Yep. Or if you need help with a purchase or refinance transaction, you got the Loan Arranger right here in your backyard. Bruce Woodburn Cross Country Mortgage, 407-250-9144, or go to webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show. Don't go anywhere.